Basic Principles of Tourist Economics. Part 2. The Socio-Economic Impact. Tourism contributes not only to the economic development of countries and regions, but also to their social and cultural development and general well-being. It is possible to observe either positive and negative impacts. First, the increase in international relations and cultural exchange can enhance social cohesion within communities. Second, the presence of tourists can support a sense of pride among for their culture and heritage. Third, increased tourism can lead to improved social infrastructure. At the same time, it is important to consider the possible negative aspect too, a possible cultural erosion because the influx of tourists may lead to the commercialization of local culture and traditions. The birth of social conflicts that may develop between tourists and locals due to differing behaviors of values, or for the increased level of prices due to tourism. Some regions could experience a rising crime associated with tourism, including theft or exploitation of local resources. John M. Keynes said, "The same self-destructive rule of financial calculation governs every other aspect of life. We destroy the countryside because natural beauty has no economic value. We would probably be able to stop the sun and the stars because they don't give us any dividends." If we consider only the increase of income and occupation due to tourism, we could forget some important problems, which sometimes aren't immediately connected to the economic performance of a country. But they could very early drive to important consequences. Overcrowding, in example, makes it difficult to avoid that people touch monuments. Overcrowding and safety concerns are often together because excessive visitor numbers easily leads to congestions, long queues, and diminished experience for both tourists and locals, but also unsafe situations and bad accidents. High tourist traffic can lead to significant environmental harm, including pollution of natural areas, destruction of ecosystems, and increased carbon emissions. It has been estimated that tourism produces about 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions and is expected to grow by 4%. Sometimes tourism carries economic disparities because the benefits are often unevenly distributed. It happens, in example, when large corporations typically reap the most profits, while local residents may only receive low-wage jobs. The pressure on the housing market can be another big problem since the popularity of short-term rental through platforms like Airbnb can drive up housing costs and reduce availability for local residents. Last but not least, the commercialization of local cultures can lead to the loss of authenticity in cultural practices and traditions. Is it possible to improve a kind of tourism that, considering all direct and indirect problems, could stimulate only the positive effects? The answer is positive. Following the sustainable tourism practices, in example the education and awareness campaigns, community engagement, etc., and looking at official statistics, the policymakers could understand how to manage either demand and supply for a sustainable and responsible tourism. On the supply side, in example, it could be possible to develop policies that promote environmentally friendly tourism practices, such as waste reduction initiatives and sustainable transport options, in order to mitigate environmental impacts. Is it possible and desirable to involve local communities in tourism planning so that their needs and concerns are addressed and to promote equitable economic benefits? Moreover, implementing stricter regulations on short-term rentals and establishing limits on the number of visitors allowed at certain sites during peak times can help manage overcrowding and stabilize housing markets by ensuring that properties are available for local residents rather than being all converted into vacation rentals. On the demand side, policymakers can observe the main trends and try to manage them. First of all, increasing the global awareness about the great importance of sustainable tourism, but also developing policies that promote the awareness and request of environmentally friendly tourism practices, such as waste reduction initiatives and sustainable transport options, who can mitigate environmental impacts. Encouraging tourists to visit during off-peak times or improving transportation to less famous surroundings can help to distribute visitors' number on the most popular sites, reducing pressure on local infrastructure and resources.